Welcome back, everyone. This is the 1UP Nitro National Series race number 6 of 25. We're already a fifth of the way through the season, and we've had 5 different winners to start 2021. Will we see a 6th here at Phoenix Raceway? This jewel in the desert has always been a thrilling sight of races in the past, and I have no doubt it'll be a similar day here as well right now. And alongside me in the commentary booth for today's race is Duke Ansack, who unsurprisingly to most, has 2 cars in this race and one on pole position. How are you liking this track so far? You got your cars up front. Will they stay up there is the question.
Well, I sure do hope they do. Elijah's had a couple of really good runs this season in that number 8 car, and starting on the pole today, similar to Atlanta. I'm hoping he's going to get a good run, of course, but he's going to have to watch out for Alexa Lutchen. I feel like I mention her every single week, but she's had a couple of down weeks. We'll see if she can get that momentum back going. That 50 car has been really, really fast this season. So I still think that she's always a factor to win these races.
And we can give you the full starting lineup now. Elijah Ironhouse on pole position, and Alexa Lutchen, as you mentioned, she starts 4th today in the number 50. We'll see how she fares. Keith Hughes gets his best career start. He puts himself on the outside of the front row. Peter Onjak gets his best start of the season in 3rd. Able to Grow rounds out the top 5. We've got some perennial contenders in the top 10. We've got Donato in 6th, Aaron Hall, the Gateway winner, in 7th, Ryan Caggiano 8th. So a lot of big names to keep your eye on at the front of the field. So expect this race to be electric from the moment the green flag drops, especially in the early stages.
Absolutely. This thing is going to go really well for a lot of drivers. I feel like this is a track where the common drivers that you see up front are going to really prevail, and it's going to be a fantastic race, as it always is here in the Nitro National Series.
So with that being said, the cars are lined up on the grid, and we are ready to bring you the action as always. This is the 1UP Nitro National Series live from Phoenix Raceway. The green flag is next. Stay tuned. Already through the restart zone, and the green flag is already out at Phoenix Raceway. Elijah Ironhouse leads him to the green, going down through this dog leg, a lot of the inside line, cutting the corner there. It's very easy to do. I can see 4 wide already on just the first corner through turn 1. This is an electric start, and deep in the field you can see Hutchinson alongside Alex Verget-Baruch, Sam Donato, Ryan Caggiano. They're all deep in the field, going 3 and 4 wide already as Ironhouse takes the lead to lead lap 1.
Yeah, I bet you that's really good for Elijah Ironhouse to see in his mirror there. Everybody racing for position. That's just going to let him drive away a little bit more. I saw Alex going through the field, not to just focus on my drivers, of course. We've got a lot of good stuff going on here. I really kind of expected some bigger movement from the 50 car on that first lap. In fact, she lost a position. So some really interesting stuff happened there, and this racing is already incredible.
And just like we saw at Gateway, Aaron Hall is making a charge to the field. He started the day in 7th, and in just 2 laps, he's made his way to the runner-up spot here in this BWT Toyota for Carter Racing System. This is just his 3rd career start, and he's already got a win at Gateway along with a 25th at Sonoma. He's looking to rectify that subpar run on the road course with a good run here on the West Coast, as Keith Hughes dives to the inside of Peter Onjak to try and take 3rd spot away. We've got some side-by-side racing all over this racetrack, as you saw Sam Donato go a little bit wide through 3 and 4. That'll cause him to give up a spot to Alex's number 3. But look at this. Aaron Hall's already on the bumper of Ironhouse trying to take the lead. He's not messing around.
No, absolutely not. And this is, we know that Aaron Hall is a rookie, and he's just on his 3rd start. But after that performance at Gateway, it was really, this track here at Phoenix is similar to Gateway in a lot of ways, that it's flat, it's only a mile, and it's a lot of off throttle, letting the car roll time, and that obviously is a track that Aaron really is good at. So this is unsurprising to me, at least, to see Aaron Hall doing so well early in this race.
And he's continuing to close in on Elijah Ironhouse, only 2/10 back on the last lap. We'll see what the timing and scoring says this time around. He's still about 2 to 3 tenths of a second off the pace, as Keith Hughes holds off Alexa Lutchen for 4th. ahead of Peter Onjak, who really needs a strong run in that 70 car. He's currently 19th in points. He's hoping to be a little further up the ladder than that, and he's having a strong day so far, at least after 6 laps have been completed, running in 5th. But this is the battle right now between Hughes and Lutchen for 3rd as they complete 6 laps here.
Yeah, and it looked like Hughes was running a little bit of a higher line there than Lutchen. We'll see if maybe that was just because Lutchen was lower on the track and just like in the way of that line. That's my guess. In fact, Lutchen's now starting to take some pressure bump from behind right there. A couple of cars, including Sam Donotto, who is moving through the field right now pretty nicely, I believe. So this track, we just saw it right there. Alexa Lutchen was on the offense trying to pass Hughes, and then all of a sudden she's got to be on the defense because she's got 2 cars down her tailpipe trying to pass her. So it's always a battle here at Phoenix.
And the battle for the lead is still going on, even though Aaron Hall has dropped a couple tenths off of Elijah Ironhouse. The complete lap number 8, Ironhouse in the number 8 Chevrolet has led all of them so far from pole position. This is similar to how he did in Atlanta. Hopefully he can finish 1 spot better than in Atlanta, notch his first career win, and make it 6 winners in 6 different races. Or can Aaron Hall become the first 2-time winner in the Nitro National Series? We will soon see after 63 laps have been completed. We're only on lap 9. These two are starting to pull away now from Hughes, Lutchen, and Donotto and the rest of the field as they cycle their way through lap number 9 to complete it. Ironhouse leads by about half a second over Aaron Hall. This is already brewing up to be a good battle between these two if Hall can catch back up.
Yeah, and this battle is starting to remind me a little bit of Atlanta. Just because Atlanta, there were 2 drivers that really just drove away from the rest of the field and started racing amongst themselves. And I feel like these 2 right now, they look like they have the car to be able to do that. Each of them do. And, it's just interesting to me that, like if Aaron Hall were to win this race, and of course most of it is still left, so this is just a huge, massive if, but if he does, what a win percentage that would be. And even putting on a run like this right now just absolutely shows how talented Aaron Hall is as a race car driver and how good those cars are being prepared for him. It's just everything is working right at that team right now.
And the complete lap number 11, the gap is closing. Now it's down to 0.4 of a second with Hughes another 1.7 back. So it looks like, for at least for the time being, it'll be a battle between the 8 and the 7 for the lead as they rocket onto the back straightaway. What used to be the front straightaway here at Phoenix Raceway, they've gone for a reconfiguration in recent years to try and improve the racing action, and I'd say it's been a huge success so far, considering our last race here in 2020 in the Superstar Series saw a thrilling fight to the end to make the playoffs, and now we're looking at this exciting battle for 3rd between Hughes, Lutchen, and Sam Donotto right behind her.
Yeah, these are 3 really talented race car drivers, and they're all battling it out here at Phoenix. What a racetrack to battle out at. I mean, it is very, very technical racetrack. It's really difficult to figure out because every little area is totally different. You've got the backstretch where it's like pretty normal. It's just straight down, not a lot of turning. But then you have that entry. It's a little bit more banking, really bumpy on the outside lane. So you go through there, and then you get to the dogleg section, and you've got 60 or 70 feet worth of racetrack that you can choose to use. Some of it is banked, some of it isn't. It's kind of a turn, but not really. It's more of a straightaway, and you have no idea what you're doing. And then you hit turns 1 and 2, which are really flat in comparison, and you can run all the way down on the apron, but you got to make sure to get back up on the track, and it funnels you in there. There's a lot of different unique parts of this racetrack, so it's really difficult to figure out. And it's really great to watch these drivers battle like this because you know that they're all loving it. It's such a fun racetrack to drive at. So I'm really enjoying watching these guys do battle.
16 laps complete here at Phoenix Raceway, and Elijah Ironhouse and Aaron Hall have pulled out a 2-second lead over the rest of the field. But Hall is biding his time back there in 2nd place, trying to see if he can find an opening where Elijah Ironhouse may be weaker. For 3 and 4, maybe he could take a shot at it, but that's a real bottom feeder's turn there. Whereas in 1 and 2, you can experiment a little more with your line. You can run up higher to maybe gain some some time, or run lower, still below the yellow line even, as we've seen some drivers do earlier in this race. It's very interesting to experiment with lines in 1 and 2. That's what I love about this racetrack. But Aaron Hall's just trying to find a place where he's stronger than Elijah Ironhouse and hopefully, potentially, make a pass for the lead, because that's what we're here to see is side-by-side action for every position in this race.
Yeah, and there's a couple of different options for Aaron Hall right now. He could either start experimenting with that race car to see if it's better on the outside or lower, closer, or even below that yellow line in turn 3 and 4. Or he could just keep riding, try to save the stuff for the end of the race. It's got a little bit of a green flag feeling right now. So you might want to just try to save your stuff here. And if there is a caution, then so be it. Then you start in second place. Or if it goes all the way to the end, then you've got a little bit of extra tire to make it there and make it happen against Elijah Ironhouse. But for now, it looks like he's just trying to run the same line as Elijah, try to just follow him, stay with him, and as long as he doesn't lose touch, I think that this is going to be a really good battle.
Completing lap number 19, Hall makes a move down on the inside. He might try and go for it here in the turn 1. He's got a little lower line than Elijah Ironhouse. He could put a bumper to the back of the 8, and it looks like he has through 1 and 2. They're going to be side by side off the corner. And this is going to be an exciting battle for the lead going into turn 3. You can really send it in here, and as Aaron Hall has demonstrated for us, that is a very close battle. And who will lead this lap? It looks like the 7 by a nose. So put Aaron Hall in the lead of the race for the first time on lap number 20. And he could very well clear the 8 coming through 1 and 2. And it looks like he'll be able to do it. He finally has the run, and he is through to the lead. Put Aaron Hall as your race leader after 20 laps have been completed.
Yeah, isn't it funny how that works out? I was just talking about how he might want to stay behind, just ride a little bit, save your stuff. Nah, he's going to the lead. That's Aaron Hall for you. He's just gonna send it out there, and he's gonna make it happen. He took the lead. He took it clean too. He got underneath, got the preferred lane, and took a couple of corners to do it, but he did it. And, Elijah Ironhouse, he probably learned a thing or two during that exchange.
Looks like he's coming back at Hall down the inside. And he's going to try sending it in to 3 and 4, but I just don't think he's got enough space to make it happen. As Aaron Hall comes off of turn 4 to lead lap 22 of 63. And Ironhouse cutting the corner in the dog leg to try and gain a little time. And look at him send it into turn 1. Half the car on the apron, half on the racetrack. And now he's just trying to gain time on Aaron Hall, but he's got to be careful in that he needs to keep an eye on the racetrack as it funnels back into the racing line off of turn 2, like you said, because if you're caught out on the bottom, it can be a very bad lap for you.
Yeah, and a lot of the time you get a really good run when you're running higher up on the track. When you cut down low in turns 3 and 4 like that, you don't ever get a great run off of the corner. You just can't put the power down there. But if you're on the track and you're a little bit higher even, you can straighten your exit out and really launch down the backstretch. And that's, I think, where Aaron Hall is beating Elijah right now.
I think Hall just has more power to play with his line than Elijah Ironhouse can, because as you can see, he can run a little higher and he can run all the way on the bottom of the racetrack, but he can also run up a lane or two and get the power off the high side off of turn 2. Like you said, I think that's his greatest strength in this racetrack is his run off of turn 2 down the straight backstretch to see. As Aaron Hall comes off the corner to lead lap 25, and Elijah Ironhouse just biding his time, waiting for an opportunity, as the rest of the field is still over 2 seconds behind this lead pair.
Yeah, this, like I said earlier, this is starting to look a little bit like Atlanta did, where we've got a great battle for the lead with two really excellent race car drivers that are just all at war for the first 2 spots and still somehow driving away from everybody else. This has got to be frustrating for everybody in third on back, especially Alexa Lutchen, who fell back in the beginning and probably has speed comparable to these two, but really is just stuck, was mired back, and then finally got to third and now is still battling with Sam Donota.
They are battling indeed 43rd position. Lutchen in the 50, Denoto in the 00. After a heartbreaking defeat at Sonoma last week for Sam Denoto, he's hoping to rebound, try and maybe get into victory lane. But to do that, he's going to have to make up a 2.5 second deficit to his new teammate, Aaron Hall, in that 7 car, who's leading this race. But Denoto's going to try running the high line like his teammate is, see if it can run better for him, as the rest of the field cycles off of turn 2, and it looks like maybe he gained a little time on Lutchen. I just don't know if it's enough to make the pass. But as they come off of 4, let's see how far back they've fallen. They've actually gained a few tenths. At least Lutchen did gain a few tenths on Hall and Ironhouse, but it's that, and there's still plenty of time in this race. We've got over half the race left to run. Yeah. So if these guys have plenty of time to let the race come to them. And since we don't have a pit stop to worry about, it's all going to fall on if the 50 and the 00 can make up a more than 2 second gap in the remaining 30 or so laps we have.
Yeah, so far I just haven't seen the speed for something like that. Now, there's always the possibility that these two up front are going to use up their stuff. We've seen it many times before. People use up their stuff and then drop like a rock. But as for right now, I don't see it happening. And I think that it's going to be this 7 and this 8 car that are battling for the win here.
And Ironhouse going to try and run higher off of 4 to try and get a bit of a straighter path through the front stretch dogleg. And he's going to enter higher than Aaron Hall did. And they're coming to the halfway lap about now. As Ironhouse cuts down low, tries to make a move, but doesn't look like he's going to make it stick. I'm just looking at the gap between these two, if it stays the same, because here comes Ironhouse off of 4. He's going to try and cut the dogleg here to try and gain time on the 7.
Yeah, it looks like he's figuring out a really good way to enter these corners with a lot of speed. He's going to really dive in this time. Oh, man, these guys are they're really racing each other, and they're side by side at this point. Oh, man, this is getting exciting.
Yeah, but Hall's got the better drive off the corner off of turn 2. Like we said, his drive off of 2 is probably his biggest asset, his biggest help to the 7 car right now. There's Ironhouse right on the back bumper. And don't look now, but Lutchen and Denoto are gaining time. They've gained almost half the deficit in the last two or three laps alone. So this may become a 4-car battle for the lead if we're not careful here.
Yeah, I've given the commentators curse yet again. I keep on talking about. I said, man, these guys are gonna race for it for the win for sure. There's no way that Alexa Lutchen and Sam Denoto are gonna catch up. Here they come. Don't look now, but here they come. They're gonna try to win this thing, and that's just great. 4-car battle is a lot better than a 2-car battle as far as I'm concerned. This racing is already entertaining. Adding 2 more cars to it is just going to be even better.
And you can see Ironhouse diving it into the corner, trying to get a lower exit than Hall can. And as they complete lap 34 into lap 35, they're still bumper to bumper. And Lutchen just closed the gap by another 0.3. That 50 and that 00, in hindsight, they are flying through this race, as Ironhouse is going to try and get the run up the high side like Hawk did earlier in this race. And it looks like it worked, but he's just doesn't have enough space. He might try and put the bumper to the 7, but I don't know if he's got enough to pass right at this moment, because you can see that 50 car getting closer and closer in the rearview mirror, so it's time to go.
Yeah, well, here's what's happening. This 8 car is putting all this pressure on Aaron Hall, and Aaron Hall is in full defense mode right now. He does not want to lose the lead to Elijah Ironhouse, and that's just making it so that these 2 cars leading the race are a lot slower than they normally would be. Aaron Hall is not trying to set fast laps right now. He's trying to maintain his track position, and that's just letting Alexa Lutchen and Sam Denoto catch right up to him. In fact, Sam Denoto is not even terribly close, or no, it's about an equal distance behind. I was seeing the wrong camera angle there, but yeah, they're catching right up either way.
So Lutchen is now as far back from Ironhouse as Ironhouse is from Aaron Hall. This is a 3-car battle that could become a 4-car battle if Denoto can get the hurry up on in his NASA Toyota. As right now we are at lap 38 of 63. We are past half distance, closing in on 20 laps to go. And right now, this is becoming a 4-horse battle for the win, unless these two can start pulling away again, or we could get even more cars joining this battle, because Keith Hughes and Ryan Caggiano are not that far behind.
Yeah, we know that those two cars are fast race cars. They've got power underneath those hoods, and they're going to be on the way as soon as they see some weakness from these guys up front. And right now, with Aaron Hall playing defense to Elijah Ironhouse, this is really slowing this whole group down. Now, there is a little bit of a gap in between them now. I think that Aaron Hall is able to kind of start setting some laps, which is why there hasn't been much more progress made, especially from Sam Donotto. He's still kind of a little ways far back, but we've got a 3-car battle for the lead right now, and that's just amazing. I didn't think that was going to happen at all.
And if he can hang on to win this race, Aaron Hall could make it a perfect points day. He could score the 52 points for winning, the 51 points for winning, plus 1 for leading the most laps, and he currently holds the fastest lap point as well. So he can make it a perfect day at Phoenix if he can hold on to win this race, but there's still 22 laps to go. So anything can still happen in this race, and it usually does. But right now, we have Ironhouse and Lutchen chasing down Aaron Hall. A Toyota, a Chevrolet, and a Ford running in the top 3 positions right now. So it's going to be interesting to see who can hang on for this win.
You're right, and you know, you're talking about a perfect day for Aaron Hall. I can name 3 drivers that are on this camera view that don't want that to happen. They want to take that win away from Aaron Hall. There's 3 cars right behind. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know how we haven't really been watching Alexa Lutchen since like before she caught up to the drivers or the leaders. So I'm curious about how much she saved, how much of her tires she saved, how fast that car really is right now, because she caught up to the leaders and then kind of stalled out, almost as if she's just waiting for later in this race to make the move and try to beat these guys in the saving game.
So we're coming to 20 laps to go this time, with Aaron Hall enjoying a fairly comfortable lead over Elijah Ironhouse. Alexa Lutchen 3rd, Sam Donotto at the back of his queue in 4th, and then Keith Hughes a very distant 5th place with Ryan Caggiano on his tail. But right now, it's the battle between Hall and Ironhouse, and possibly Lutchen and Donotto as well, as we cycle the ticker through the rest of the field, see where your favorite driver is running in today's race. As here comes Ironhouse on the inside of Hall. This is for the lead. They're going to be side by side off the corner. Will Hall's advantage down the back straightaway help him out? It looks like it will, because Ironhouse was ahead coming off the corner, but Hall just had such a good run off the corner, and I think he'll be able to keep it.
Yeah, you know, and that's just a lack of drive off of the corner for that 8 car running below the lane or below the yellow line, but it's still a side-by-side battle right now.
And they're side-by-side for a 2nd consecutive lap, and behind them, Donotto and Lutchen are side-by-side for position. We've got 2 battles for position right now, one that's apparently settled in favor of Aaron Hall, and another that has just apparently settled in favor of Alexa Lutchen. They've both been settled in the span of 1 back straightaway. So as we complete lap 45, we've got 2 bundles of 2 cars racing for position right now. And I doubt we've seen the end of the battle for position, because here comes Ironhouse once again for the lead.
Yeah, you know, these battles are going to continue. They can sense this race coming to a close here. They know they've got to go now if they want to have a shot. You can tell so far in this race, Elijah Ironhouse led a lot, and as soon as he got to the lead, it was really hard to pass him. While Aaron Hall got by him, and the same thing happened. It's been very difficult for Elijah Ironhouse to be able to pass him. It looks like this lap he might have the position going into turn 1.
He may have the position, and it looks like he might take it back, but no, Hall's got such a good run off of turn 2. He might be able to keep it, and now Lutchen and Donotto are right in the thick of the battle. We surpassed 15 laps to go in this race, and Hall and Ironhouse side by side for the lead, with Lutchen and Donotto breathing down their necks. Who's Lutchen going to go with? Because Ironhouse now has the advantage going through 1 and 2, and now he might be able to clear if Hall can get that run off the top, and look at that.
Oh my
Look at the run he's got. He's just pulling away down the back straightaway, but they're still side by side off the corner, and I believe that Hall will be able to take the lead back, and he has. Look at that.
You know, it was very important for Aaron Hall to not lose that position right there and fight hard on the outside, because as soon as you lose that first position on the outside lane, there's 2 other cars that are going to go by you as well. So that was very well done from the 7 car, and I don't know why he's not running that outside lane every single lap, because it seems like that's the faster line right now.
I imagine, though, he also wants to keep Elijah Ironhouse in that dirty air, that even though it is a shorter racetrack and the aerodynamics doesn't play as much of a factor, it still plays enough of a factor to where you want to keep your opponent in that dirty air if at all possible. Because you see Ironhouse peeking his nose out a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be enough, as you see Lutchen and Donotto side by side, and they have left Hughes, Caggiano, DeGroat, and everyone else in the dust. They're now about 4 seconds behind this Fab foursome as we close in on 10 laps to go.
Yeah, you know, I'm just curious if any of these 3 drivers that are now still behind Aaron Hall have learned anything from that performance on the outside lane. Maybe these cars just don't handle when they're in the outside lane like Aaron Hall's does, but it'll be interesting to see the next time these guys get there, and if they elect to go to that outside lane to try to pass, because I think that it's a totally viable option right now. If you can sneak to the outside, stay there until you get back to turn 1, then you've got a reasonable shot to take the lead going down the back.
Yeah, and right now Aaron Hall's just growing his lead out a little bit more with the 3 challengers all right behind him, Ironhouse, Lutchen, and Donotto. We're closing in on that. We're coming to take 11 laps to go this time to start lap 53. We're closing in on the end of this race, and any one of these 4 cars can win it. But man, you gotta be thinking Aaron Hall has the advantage going into the final few laps, because his car can run good no matter where it is on the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be very, very interesting to see what this 7 car is able to do with 3 other cars breathing down his neck. And it looks like that 50 car, Alexa Lutchen, is going to the outside, but that looks like maybe it was the wrong end of the track to go to the outside. She lost a lot of time right there. We'll see what happens, though. I know that's a fast car, and Sam Donotto just lurking in the background, trying to stay in contention here. So much heartbreak for that 00 team this season. So just good finishes for them is really what they're looking for, and maybe they can finally eke out a win.
Yeah, but good finishes aren't going to be enough for Sam Donotto personally. He had a good run at Pensacola, was eliminated in a crash, had a phenomenal race at Sonoma behind Marc Davey before he was turned around by a lap car of all things to finish a distant second. So he's not content with decent finishes anymore. He wants a win badly, and he's got about 7 more laps to try and pass 3 cars to make the distance here at Phoenix as we're closing in on the end of this race, as well as on some lap traffic. You saw TJ Murray in the 37 just ahead of these guys. I'm not sure if they'll catch him by the time this race ends, but if they do, that could throw another wrinkle into this race as we're closing in on the final few circuits here at Phoenix.
You know, the lap traffic this season so far has not only been a bad omen, but it's been a horrible omen, especially for the leaders. You just, even talking about Sam Donotto, mentioned how the lap cars really have been hurting the leaders a lot in this season. You know, they're just it's a lot of single groove racing a lot of the time, and the lap cars are just kind of in the way sometimes, and that could have huge impact on how this race ends. Keep an eye out for that.
We're closing in on 5 laps to go now in this race. So with Aaron Hall enjoying a steady lead of about 0.3, 0.2 of a second now, with Ironhouse, Lutchen, and Donotto of equidistance behind. So Hall just needs to run a steady few laps. This isn't going to be like his win at if he can hang on for this race. It won't be like his win at Gateway, where he just pulled away from the field and absolutely crushed the competition. He's had to hold off some very strong cars in the closing stages, and actually throughout the entirety of the 63-lap race.
Yeah, and these strong cars are still, I mean, I am not calling this race over by any means because they are really, really close together. And I think that there's going to be some other factors in this that are involved in if Aaron Hall is able to hold on to this lead. But mainly that 8 car and that 50 car right now, they are breathing down Aaron Hall's neck. And I think that as soon as they get a little bit of an edge, it's going to be a tough battle.
Coming down to 4 laps to go in this race. Hall ahead of Ironhouse, ahead of Alexa Lutchen. They're closing in on the lap car of Murray. Now Lutchen making a move on Elijah Ironhouse for second.
Wow.
She's had enough of running behind that 8 car. She wants to see what she can do with that 7, but she's falling back a little bit down the back straightaway, and Ironhouse swings high to try and get a little bit of a run off the corner. Coming to 3 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, I don't know, that 50 car, that might not have been the best move right there, just not enough momentum on that lane. Elijah Ironhouse is still running in the tire tracks of that 7 car. I really feel like he should move to the outside. He needs to try to find something. He's got to get aggressive with his line or something. He's just not going to beat him by running right behind him.
Coming to 2 laps to go in this race, and with Aaron Hall keeping that lead fairly steady, I'm just not sure if Ironhouse is going to be able to catch him. We'll see, though, because he's got a bit of a run here going into turn 1 once again.
Yeah, and that lap car is getting dangerously close. It's like the Jaws music coming up here to see when they're going to catch him and how it's going to impact this race. We've yet to see it, but we're closing in on the final lap right here.
White flag, this is it. 1 lap to go for Aaron Hall. See if he can snare his 2nd win of the season and just his 3rd career start. He'll have a 67% winning average if he can pull it off here. Down the back straightaway for the final time. It doesn't look like TJ Murray's going to play a factor in this race. Coming through 3 and 4 for the final time, Aaron Hall has cemented his name as one of the greatest. In just his 3rd start, he gets his 2nd career win. Aaron Hall does it at Phoenix once again.
My goodness, what a performance from that 7 car with Elijah Ironhouse and Alexa Lutchen breathing down his neck for almost the entirety of the second half of this race. Absolutely incredible that he was able to hold them off for the entire time and not ever lose the lead once he took it. That is absolutely impressive. Very well done from Aaron Hall.
So behind the 4 that completed this race, Keith Hughes gets his first career top 5 ahead of Ryan Caggiano, Abel DeGroat in 7th, Justin Hutchinson in 8th, Dylan Young ahead in 9th place, ahead of Curtis Stevenson, who finishes 10th for the 2nd week in a row. He will finish in the 10th position at the end of a wild race here at Phoenix. And as the cars pull on the pit road, what are your final thoughts from a very exciting race at Phoenix? We didn't have anything to slow the action down, but who needed anything to slow the action down? Because the action was perfectly fine, all at top speed.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely amazing. I really thought that it was going to be Aaron Hall versus Elijah Ironhouse. Once we saw them drive away, they were about 2.5 seconds ahead, and I really thought it was going to be just them. But all of a sudden, the 50 car and the 00 both caught up, and that was incredible. It led to a great battle and an amazing performance from Aaron Hall to take home the win after a lot of defensive driving.
And a perfect weekend for Aaron Hall, a perfect Phoenix weekend as he secures the fastest lap point and the most laps led point as well. He has maximum points for his perfect Phoenix weekend, 53 points in his pocket, and he can look forward to next week's race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We're still hanging out west, but it's going to be a completely different style of racing, the high-speed Las Vegas Motor Speedway. It's going to be a very interesting one, for sure. So from Duke Anzac and from myself as well, we say goodbye from the Jewel of the Desert Phoenix Raceway, and we can say congratulations now to Aaron Hall, who takes his 2nd career Nitro National Series victory, the first driver ever to win twice, and he does it at the magical place that is Phoenix Raceway.